Magician! Hey YouTube, DogMagician84 here with another channel update thing. There's a couple of things I want to talk about regarding regarding tournaments, decks, and a challenge I was thinking of doing. So first of all, something I did mention in the last part of my history series, I've decided that I'm not going to be playing in any more Edison format tournaments or any other tournaments from the 5Ds and Zexal eras. Because quite frankly, there's just too many decks from those eras of time that are just really annoying to play against. I mean, after the bullshit that X-Sabers and particularly Chainburn put me through in the last one, it's just outright put me off. Now, I knew when it came to Edison tournaments I was expecting X-Sabers as well as Glads and Macro, but yeah, Sabers were just annoying to play against. Mind you, regarding Edison, to be fair, I guess they're not as annoying as they would be like afterwards when they got more support from Shining Darkness, but yeah, it was just a pain. With having my counters to them countered, basically, and Gotham's ripping cards out my hand. Chainburn was more annoying, though. Like, I can't believe that. See, I go into these past format tournaments just to have a good time, you know, just have some fun with old decks. Doesn't matter if I win or lose. The whole thing, really. And then just, but now I'm thinking, like, what's the point if, like, players are gonna bring in toxic troll decks to just ruin the fun of it for everyone else? I mean, yeah, I was able to win against Chainburn, but it doesn't matter, like, it's just an infuriating deck to play against. Same with other annoying decks that can be played in Edison. You know, Sabers, Glads, Macro, and even Frog Monarch. I'm sure I didn't get paired against Glads or Macro, but don't forget, back then, these were my most hated decks in the game, because they both just do too many things that just don't let me play. And it's like, well, what's the point in even trying to play if I can't play? I don't know, just duels against any of those 5 decks just don't make it an enjoyable experience. I mean, granted, anything from Pendulum era onwards is just unenjoyable, regarding past formats, that is, but still, that's not the point. So, I think what I'm going to do is just stick with GOAT format tournaments, I think, or anything that comes after Yatterlock and before Synchro era. I mean, I've said plenty of times already that Yu-Gi-Oh! Was just so much better back then. Well, besides the existence of priority, I mean, yeah, there'd be annoying decks like Generic Burn, Nurse Burn, Gravekeepers, Stein OTK, Demise OTK, and Monarchs. That's pretty much it. I mean, at least they were easy to deal with, and there weren't really any lockdown decks. And Gravekeepers didn't have as much support as they do now. I mean, all I've got to do is just play other field spells if I can to get rid of Necro Valley, or even better, just activate Cursed Seal of Necro Valley, and the deck is dead. Like, what are they going to do? They can't play without Necro Valley. I mean, there's no guarantee I'll draw the outs, but at least they're there, and like I said, they're just annoying decks from back then were a lot easier to deal with than they were from 5D's era onwards. So, yeah, tournaments from that era are what I'll stick with, I think, at least for the time being. And like I said, I'll still play GOAT, still hoping there'll be a September 07 format tournament one day, but we'll see. And of course, I'd still like the opportunity to try and defeat Jude in a match. Like he's the only competitive player I can think of who's a friend of mine that, in our circle of friends from Dead Uni, that I've never beaten in a match. When I first met him in 2015, I did win one duel against him, but still lost the match, so that's going to be the goal. I've beaten other friends of mine who play competitively, at least once, but Jude's the only one I've not been able to beat in a match. So that'll be a little goal for when I play in past format tournaments. So yeah, that's that. And going back to hated decks, despite what I was saying about them just now, there are a couple I do actually want to beat with specific decks. Like, I've decided I want to set myself a challenge to defeat Dark World, more specifically Express Gaming's Dark World deck, with Blue Eyes White Dragon, and Plunder Patrol, more specifically Weber's 5's Plunder Patrol deck, with Elemental Heroes. And let me explain why. See, regarding Express Gaming's Dark World deck, I've gone up against it with Blue Eyes 3 times, like twice in tournaments from the March 2012 format, and once more recently. It's kind of ridiculous. Blue Eyes is one of the best decks I have, and yet I've not been able to win against Dark World, so I would like to change that. I'm pretty sure Express Gaming did suggest this idea some time ago, which I was completely against at first, because normally I just don't enjoy playing against Dark World at all, but after some thought, I want to give that a go. And as for Plunder Patrols, like, I swear the archetype just has something against my elemental heroes. Like, every time I bring my Elemental Heroes up against Plunder Patrol, they get their asses kicked. And it's so annoying, and again, I'd like to change that. The problem is, it doesn't help that Plunder Patrol is a really bad matchup for Elemental Heroes, because Elemental Heroes are a mixed attribute deck, and Plunder Patrols can take so much advantage of that. I'm just trying to think of a way to beat them easily. I know two weaknesses that they have, but Elemental Heroes can't really capitalise on them. They do apparently auto-lose to wind decks, although the thing is they can just get round that with booty and summoning the extra deck monsters properly. But otherwise, pure wind decks have a better chance of beating Plunder Patrol, at least until they get a wind extra deck monster, which I'm sure they will sooner or later. So I could probably beat Plunder Patrol with speed droids, but that's not the aim here. The other weakness they have is Imperial Iron Wall, like Bram and Moak can't do shit if Imperial Iron Wall is on the field, so I'd like to think that that's a card that they auto-lose to, but the problem with that is I can't play that with Elemental Heroes because it turns off Miracle Fusion. So it would just be a double-edged sword that would hurt me. Like, with Iron Wall out, Miracle Fusion is a dead card. So I'm just trying to think, there must be some other way that Plunder Patrols can be beaten. Of course, there is one other card I can use, but obviously I'm not going to say what it is, because I don't want any counters being countered. And of course there is another deck I want to beat with my Elemental Heroes, which isn't a hated deck, but somehow it's one that Elemental Heroes keep losing against, and that's Super Heavy Samurais. It's so random. I mean, I've not played against them recently, but whenever I bring my Elemental Heroes against Super Heavy Samurais, I keep losing to them, and I don't understand why. And again, I would like to change that and have Elemental Heroes just get a win over them. So that'll be the goal here: defeat Super Heavy Sams and Plunder Patrol with Elemental Heroes once and for all, and then beat Dark World with Blue Eyes White Dragon once and for all. And of course the mission will not end until obviously all three of those decks have been beaten. So I'll make that happen. And also, going back to tournaments, I'm considering doing another series each of the two spin-off series of the Dark Magician's Deck Grand Championship, the Epic Elite and the Casual Crunch Up, which I kind of want to do, even though I didn't really plan to do those this year, because I wanted to focus on the main competition, the Dark Magician Deck Grand Championship, and the Ultimate Championship. And of course the past format Grand Championship was a spur-of-the-moment thing. But I kind of want to do those anyway. I might as well throughout this week, because after game night later on, there won't be much to do this week, because there's fucking train strikes like tomorrow and on Saturday, which means I'll have to wait to go and pay a visit to Express Gaming and Gamer Central. So annoying. When are those damn strikes gonna end? It's pissing everyone off. So yeah, that'll be the plan. And also, one more thing regarding decks. There's 3, I'm pretty sure there's 3 anyway, that I've yet to pull out of my binders and have games with. Card, Small Spaceship and Gagagars. I think that's pretty much it, really. So I'll have a few games with them at some point. Might as well, because in over a month's time I'll be starting the current format Endurance. I still want to keep the past format Endurance going as well. It would be pretty cool if I could do that with Matt and Alison Welch, considering they've got quite a few September 07 format decks based on what I've seen in their collections. Anyway, so yeah, that will happen. Plus, I'm also thinking about retiring some past format decks, like once the past format Endurance is done. Oh, excuse me. Obviously some, though, not all of them. I'm thinking a few past format Dark Magician decks, like from 5Ds and Zexal era. Might keep April 2014 though, for sure. And I think just any of the other ones really, because it's quite hard to play those ones, unlike the more old school variants, I should say. And I might retire. Right, sorry about that. As I was saying, after I got interrupted, I'm going to retire the GOAT format Elemental Hero deck as well, I think, because it's just really hard to play it. It's like without Miracle Fusion and Skyscraper. Well, just anything from Cybernetic Revolution, really. Plus, it's quite hard to bring BLS out. It was a good, fun idea, but but yeah, it is what it is. I'll keep the other 2 GOAT decks though, Dark Paladin and Dark Magician. However, I plan to bring in 2 more past format decks. Warriors, one from GOAT format, one from September 07. And obviously retire my current format generic warrior deck. I mean, it runs okay, but obviously it's just not as good as it used to be, especially with only 1 rotor. Like, it's not easy to play it with just 1. So I might as well bring back 2 pass format versions, GOAT because it's very popular, and September 07 because, well, again, like I said, it's my favourite format. And I think it'll be great playing my warrior deck under those lists again. I don't know when I'll put those together, mind you. I've made a start on gathering cards to play in them. It could be a while before those are ready. And I'll need to use parts from the current format warrior deck, of course. I just want to check something as well. Let's see. Yeah, I wanted to check something about Guildford the Lightning. Yeah, as I thought, cards from the 2005 collectible tins can't be used in GOAT, which is annoying because Guildford is the main deck boss monster of my warrior deck. So, yeah, while I can't play it in the GOAT warrior deck, I can still at least play it in the September 07 format warrior deck. So that'll be something, at least. Just having a look at it. I did build my GOAT warriors on here, didn't I? Yeah, I did. I'm also going to want to get a copy of Don Zalug as well. It's annoying because I used to have a copy of it and now I don't. But anyway, that's the plan. Oh yeah, and one other thing is some deck cores I don't have on me anymore, current format ones that is. Supreme Kings, Divine Neos, and Toons. Yeah, they're currently over at my fiance's place right now because I'm hoping this guy she knows can sell the cores. So there'll be a few less decks to work with when I start the current format Endurance. That's not even it. Where's my piece of paper? Oh god, it's stuck in my bag. There we go. Oh yeah, and my Earthbounds. Also, Earthbounds and Cyberdarks. They're also in those binders. So as it stands, I currently have 35 current format decks. Yeah. There's also Destiny Heroes went to George, and Evil Heroes went to Express Gaming. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's everything I wanted to talk about. So yeah, thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Dark Magician YouTube channel.